Hello, I am Dr. Seema Khan, practicing at Navi Mumbai, CBD Belapur. I hope you all are well and doing safe. Today we are going to discuss about a condition, very important condition, which is called allergic rhinitis. And its management, which will help you understand the disease better. So, what do you mean by allergic rhinitis? Let us come to the word rhinitis. It refers to the inflammation of the nasal passage, and this inflammation can cause a variety of annoying symptoms, including sneezing, itching, nasal congestion, running nose, and postnasal drip. So, few episodes of rhinitis are usually caused by respiratory tract infections with viruses, such as common cold. And allergic rhinitis is caused by allergies to things in the air around you. Chronic rhinitis or the long term rhinitis is usually caused by allergies, but it can also result from overuse of certain drugs, some medical conditions, and other unknown factors. For many people, allergic rhinitis is a lifelong condition that waxes and wanes over time. Fortunately, symptoms can usually be controlled with a combination of environmental measures, medications, and immunotherapy. So, first question is, who gets allergic rhinitis? Allergic rhinitis affects approximately 20% of people of all ages. The result of developing allergic rhinitis is much higher in people with asthma or eczema and in people who have a family history of asthma or allergic rhinitis. This condition can begin at any age, although most people first develop symptoms in their childhood or young adulthood. The symptoms are often most severe in children and people in their 30s and 40s. However, the severity of symptoms tends to vary throughout a person's life. Some people go through periods during which they are absolutely symptom free and they don't have any symptoms at all. Allergic rhinitis. So, what are the causes? Come to the etiology of the allergic rhinitis. It is caused by a nasal reaction to small airborne particles, which are called allergens. So, these allergens are the substances which can provoke an allergic reaction. In some people, these particles also cause reaction in the lungs, causing asthma, and in the eyes, causing allergic conjunctivitis. The allergic reaction results from activation of two types of inflammatory cells in the body called mast cells and basophils. These cells produce natural chemicals such as histamine, which cause symptoms such as nasal congestion, itching, sneezing, and running nose. So we have two types of seasonal allergic rhinitis, which are seasonal rhinitis and perennial allergic rhinitis. So seasonal allergic rhinitis includes the allergens are mostly commonly because of the pollens from trees, grasses, and weeds. And in perennial allergic rhinitis, the allergens are mainly from the dust mites, cockroaches, animal dander, and fungi or molds. So this perennial rhinitis tends to be more difficult to treat. Now, the question comes, these are the symptoms we understood, but what makes the symptoms more worse? So, outdoor allergies can be the reason which makes these symptoms worse. So, the best way to prevent allergic rhinitis is to avoid things which you are doing to avoid the allergens, because allergic rhinitis is caused by outdoor allergies. This can be hard to do. You have outdoor allergies, that are some things you can do to help. We can do keep your doors and windows shut during polar seasons. You can use an air conditioner to cool your home instead of coolers or fans that bring in outside air. Consider pollen counts when planning outdoor activities. It may help to limit your outdoor activities when pollen and mold counts are at their highest. And the peak times for the pollens and molds are, we can just, for the grass it's afternoon and early evening. For the ragweed it is early midday, and molds are, they peak during warm, dry, windy afternoons. And you can also do one thing, we can cover your mattress and box springs in zippered just proof encasings, and wash your pillows, sheets, and blankets weekly in hot water. Dust mites will survive in lukewarm water, so we have to wash these sheets in 130 degrees centigrade. Animal danders, urine, and saliva from feathered or furry animals are also major year-round allergies. And so do not keep any furry or feathered pets in your home. Suppose if you cannot avoid this keeping the pet, So if you must keep the pet, try to keep it outdoors. If the pet comes indoors, make sure it stays out of your bedroom at all times. After exposure to the pet, wash your hands and change your clothes. Many substances can irritate the nose, throat, or airways. Common irritants including smoke such as tobacco, smoke from the wood burning stoves or kerosene stoves or fireplaces or aerosol sprays. So we have to avoid all these. Avoid aerosol sprays, perfumes, strong cleaning products and other odor sources at home. So now after knowing the reason for allergic rhinitis, we will see what are the common symptoms and signs of the allergic rhinitis. So as we have already discussed that it affects the mucosa, the entire mucosa of the respiratory tract, sometimes affecting nose also and lungs also at the same time. So what are the symptoms caused by the nasal allergy? These are watery nasal discharge, blocked nasal passages, sneezing, itching, postnasal drip, loss of taste, facial pressure or pain. And sometimes it affects the eyes, causing the itchy red eyes, a feeling of grittiness in the eyes, swelling and dark discoloration of the skin below the eyes, and these are called as the allergic shiners. The patients also get throat and ear symptoms, which are the throat irritation in throat, sore throat, hoarse voice, congestion or popping of the ears, and itching of the ears. And sometimes the patients do breathe through their mouth, and then they have daytime fatigue, excessive daytime sleepiness, and they face trouble doing normal activities during daytime. Now, how will you diagnose? Most of the times, the diagnosis is clinical. Sometimes the diagnosis, your doctor will advise a skin prick test to know the source of the allergy in cases which are refractory to the normal medical management, and a proper history taking. Like you have to recall what time you got the allergy first, what was the duration, what was the period during the year, and what were you doing, what were the activity involved during were you at home or outside, and looking closely at the home, work and school environment for potential allergens. And sometimes blood tests are done to know the raised eosinophil counts, but they are not necessary all the time. Sometimes with excessive nasal complaints and allergic rhinitis leading to polyposis of nose and the sinuses, we require a CT scan of the sinuses also, and depending upon the severity of the condition, we go ahead with the management. Thank you.